Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well. We're doing good. I thought I'd share with you my little feller here. I had a doe that was bred and it was her first time, and I really didn't think she was due for another week at least, but I went out the other morning and this little feller was laying out there, actually in the mud. She just had him out near the gate. Where she was, around everybody else. The other goats kept pestering her and stuff like that. So she didn't want him, and I've tried and tried to get her to take him. But I've been milking her in the morning and the evening to get some colostrum off of her, and I'll keep milking her. But I also keep goat's milk in the freezer. So I've been giving him that as well, in between not getting enough milk from her at the time, because I'm not doing excessive milking. I'm just milking to get the colostrum off of her at the moment. But anyway, I wanted to share a few things with you that I do and the reasons I do some of the things I do. This little fella, as you see, he's got a diaper on right now. I sell my goats, and I try to get some of them bottle fed anyway, used to a bottle, because a lot of people want to bottle feed them, but I definitely keep them on mama for at least a week before I do that, and that way they get plenty of colostrum and all that good stuff. But also, you'll see this diaper. I don't know if you can tell, but I got this diaper long ways. Like, this is the front of the diaper and this is the butt of the diaper. On little boys, this is a great way to do this. I bought those diapers for little dogs, and their butt sets back further than where a little boy pees at, from my experience anyway. So I just turned it around sideways, and it works better. It don't fall off and all that kind of good stuff. It just works better. Now, for a little girl, I could put it on the other way and use suspenders. You can make a little suspender thing to wrap around it from here to attach it to there on the regular diaper on there, and that will help that stay on, because they do ride off really easy. I don't like to do that just because I worry about the straps. But I also use a pee pad, and actually they're very good at using pee pads. You see there, before I put his diaper on, they tend to go to the same spot, and if you keep it in a kind of a darker spot for them, they tend to go there to use the bathroom a lot. And these little boxes, as you see, I've got just a little box with some little babies in there, because they don't like to be alone. So I give him plenty of things to keep him from being alone. There's another box because he's getting a little higher. I've got to upgrade him. I'll show you my milk here. Sorry for the... See, here's some of it. I've already been going through some that was down here. And then there's more back in there. But I keep that going. I do not disbud. And I'll tell you why I don't disbud. Come here, baby. Come here. The reason I don't disbud... you darling. Today's his... So he was born the 11th. Today's the 13th. So he's 2 days old today. I just fed him. He's trying to eat. And I use a regular bottle. Just a little bottle. And generally you have to clip the top just a tad, not much, because they tend to have suction on their tongue to where they cover the top of it so they don't get the milk out as good. So I've always had to tip the end a little bit. And as they get older, sometimes I've had to do it even more. But anyway, he's done had that for now. I do not disbud. He's got his little buds right up here. And the reason I don't disbud is, particularly where I live at, there's a lot of coyotes and stuff. And I just like for them to have their horns. The best defense they've got is their horns. And I feel like they should just keep them. Unless you live in an area where you don't have that problem or whatever. That's my opinion. As for castrating or banning them, I've had people, when I sell them, ask if I would do that. And I do not do that until they're at least 3 months old. I will ban them at 3 months old. And the reason being that their urinary tract will cease growing to a point. And it's... on little bucks and withers especially, they can easily get I forget the name of it. It's a urinary thing to where they get kind of like kidney stones. They can get kidney type stones, and they don't urinate like they should because of it. And I don't do that to little bucklings until they're 3 months old, so that they have that maturity already in their urinary tract to where that does not become an issue as they get older, because that can become an issue. I've heard of it several times, and that's my precautionary. And I also give them, my bucks, I give them a little bit of this in their ration. This is ammonium chloride. And I don't want you to think that I do this, so you need to do this. I want you to do your own research. I don't want to suggest something that I shouldn't. But I give my bucks that because it helps cleanse out their urinary tract and stuff. And for me, I put like a teaspoon in it once a week. Some people do that more than that. Some people do it just if there's an issue. But I figure that kind of helps them keep the precautionary reasons. Worming. If I keep a kid until they're 6 weeks old, when somebody buys one, I will worm it when it gets done. When it's weaned, I will worm it, but I don't worm it before then. So there was something else I wanted to share with you over that. What is it, little man? I'll think of it in a second. I just do the ammonium chloride for my bucks, and I don't do them at this age. I wait till they get older, probably about 3 months old, to even do that to my little bucks if I keep a buck or whatever. And I do that on through their life as a buck. Okay, and there's still something else I was wanting to share. Cat wants to play on his terms. And only his terms. Yes, he could still poop out of that, but if anybody's experienced with goat poop, it ain't really that big a deal unless you had the scours, which is diarrhea or whatever. Now for me, and I throw out another disclaimer here, if I ever have a little goat, and a lot of times in the transition of going from, if you do a transition from mother's milk to store-bought powdered milk or whatever, they can have a diarrhea episode sometimes. For me, and I'm speaking for myself, I throw out my disclaimer here. I'm not telling you to do this. This is just what I do. I make a tea of blackberry leaves. I use blackberry leaves, and I make a tea. And I will give them about an ounce. And usually it's always when they're real little like this that happens. I'll give them about an ounce in between their bottles, maybe twice or 3 times a day until they stop doing that. And usually I only have to do it maybe 2 days at the most, and it clears it up pretty good, unless it's something else going on. If it don't clear it up within a couple days, then I'm sure there's something else going on as well. I haven't had that happen, but I would use precaution with that. Something else I was going to share. I like to try to wean them by 6 weeks. They'll start eating on grain and nibble on grass and stuff, and you kind of tell. Another thing that I have found a lot of people do, and is they'll give them too much. See, this little fella acts like he's still hungry. He keeps coming over here wanting to eat more. Yesterday I gave him 1 to 2 ounces throughout the day. And he's a big buck, so he's pretty much done 2 ounces, not a day, but a meal. And I give him something to eat about every couple hours. And that's plenty. A lot of people think, well, they're still hungry, let's give them some more. You got to think their little stomach is very tiny. It probably barely holds 2 ounces anyway. You don't want to overdo that, and that causes a lot of times issues with diarrhea and stuff like that too. So less is better than more when it comes to that. So, use wisdom with that, I would suggest highly too. I was raised on a dairy farm, and we had goats as well on there. But whenever I became adult, it was in 96 I got my first goats. And I've just had random different goats through the years until about 11, maybe 12 years ago, I've just done Nigerian dwarfs. So that's my primary goat now. Watch him, he wants to play. Play with him, Malachi. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you. And if you have any questions, there's probably some things I'm not thinking of. But if you have any questions, you can ask. If I know them, I'll tell you. If I don't, I'll try to steer you somewhere that does. Anyway, God bless you guys. I hope you're having a good week. See you later. I finally remembered, I'm sorry guys, what I was wanting to say, and I never could come up with what it was. A lot of times people will disbud their goats because of worrying about them headbutting people or whatever the case may be. Now, I can't speak for every breed. I can speak for Nigerian dwarfs. I can speak for, well, I'll just say I'll speak for these. And really, I think any goat, unless they're just known to be an aggressive goat. I made the mistake one year, it's been a long, long time ago, and it was actually a little doe too, of letting my youngest daughter just horseplay the hound out of my goat at that time, this little girl goat I had. And you know how they'll start to headbutt and people put their hands out there and headbutt with them and do all that kind of stuff, romp with them. That's fun when they're little. That's cute and so much fun and all that stuff. But that's asking for trouble when they get bigger. And I speak from experience with that for sure. But I won't let none of my grandkids or my kids, either one, headbutt with the goat. They can love on the goat, sweet talk the goat, do whatever they want to do to the goat, but do not horseplay with the goat. And I've never had another goat that's been aggressive since then. My big buck out there and my wither, they're the biggest babies of any of my goats for that matter. And they've never been horseplayed with, but they've been cuddled, they've been loved, and all those good things. And couldn't ask for a better goat. My buck's got huge horns sticking out, and I've never ever had him be aggressive with his horns. But anyway, I wanted to throw that in there because I really think that's a lot of times a problem when people get goats and they don't know what they're doing necessarily, and they think, well, this is just cute and fun right now, but it's not cute and fun when they get big because they think they can still play with you that way, and they can't. And you can ask my husband that because he's gotten hit before by that little doe that I was talking about. Because she was jealous was her problem, but she'd been horseplayed with a lot. Anyway, I wanted to share that. Bless you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.